Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. This is going to be the fourth video of this lesson. The title of the lesson is "We are not afraid to die if we can all be together." I would request all the students, all my dear student of 11th standard, to go through this, to go through all the videos, especially summary of this lesson. Then you will be able to understand the entire lesson. Let's begin to discuss further. I am reading from page number 16. That evening, Mary and I sat together holding hands. Mary and wife and husband, they both were together on that boat. As the motion of the ship brought more and more water in through the broken planks. Planks means wood. So the more and more water was now surging, was coming, was gushed forth inside the boat. And we both felt that the end was very near. And we both felt that we are going to die. Wife and husband both thought that their end is very near. They were there in the midst of the water, in the midst of the ocean. But Wave Walker rode out the storm. But Wave Walker, the name of the boat, that boat was able to face the storm. And by the morning of January 6, with the wind easing means decreasing. On January 6, the wind started decreasing. And now they were out of danger. I tried to get a reading on sextant. Sextant means instrument for measuring distance. So I tried to get reading on sextant. So he just had one instrument known as sextant in order to know the measure of the wind and in order to know where, in which area they are there. And back in the chart room, I work on wind speed and I started working on the wind speed. I calculated the speed of the wind, and by that I will decided to ride the boat according to that. Changes of course. Drift means movement. And current in an effort to calculate our position. He started calculating. The best I could determine was that we were somewhere in 150,000 kilometers of the ocean looking for 65 kilometer wide island. They were there away 150,000 kilometers they traveled, and they, by that, with the help of their sextant, they came to know that they are away only 65 kilometers from the island. Means if they get island anyhow, somehow, they will be able to survive. They will be able to save their life. If they don't get island, they will just sink into the water. That is sure. While I was thinking, जब मैं ऐसा सोच रहा था, Shiv moving painfully, his daughter moving painfully, joined me. She also joined. The left side of her head was now very swollen. It was swollen. The head was swollen because she got injury when the waves of the water gush and the waves of water hit the boat and she fell down somewhere. She got injury, and her blackened eyes narrow, and because of that injury her eyes even also turned into black, to slits, narrow openings. She was not able to even open her eyes slit. She gave me a card she had made, and she gave me a card that she has made. Let's see what was written inside that card. On the front she had drawn caricature of Mary and me with the words. She drew the picture of her father and her mother, and she wrote what she has written. Here are some funny people. Did they make you laugh? I laughed a lot as well, and father started laughing a lot. Inside was a message. Oh, how I love you both. And so this card is to say thank you and let's hope for the best. Somehow we had to make it. और हम किसी भी तरह we had to make it. Okay. I check and recheck my calculation. Okay. So that was check. And that calculation was checked. And in order to know exactly how far they are from that particular island, which is a source of saving their life. We had lost our main compass, and I was using spare. They had already lost their main compass, and he was using one more spare compass which he had not been corrected for magnetic variation. I was using a spare which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. Variation means change. I made an allowance for this, and another estimate of the influence of the westerly current which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. I use a different way of I made an allowance, उसको मैंने उसको रख दिया because it was not working. I made an allowance for this and another estimate, and he started thinking in another way of the influence of the westerly current which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean, and by this we will be able to know the exact distance of that particular island. And about 2 p.m. I went on deck, that seat, front part of the ship. I went on deck and asked Larry to steer a course of 85 degree, and he asked Larry, one of the crewmen on the boat, to steer at 15 degree, to move, to drive the wave walker or the boat in that much speed. If we were lucky, I told him with a conviction I did not. If we were lucky, I told him with a conviction I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. And he told him that if we are lucky, we would be able to see the island at 5 p.m. today anyhow. If we are lucky, if the luck is there with us. So they changed the direction in 85 degrees. They changed their way also in order to go towards the direction of that island, right? And then with heavy heart, I went below, climb on my bunk. Bunk is sleeping place, right? That bed, climb on my bunk and amazingly doze off, and I started sleeping. When I woke up, it was 6 p.m. It was time of 6 p.m. and growing dark. And you must have missed the island. मुझे ऐसा था कि हम आइलैंड चले, मिस हो गए होंगे कहीं, पता नहीं, क्योंकि वाटर एवरीवेयर. इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. सी द पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन कैन ओनली बी नोन इन द ओशन विद द हेल्प ऑफ स्टार और विद दैट हेल्प ऑफ दैट मशीन, राइट, सेक्सटेंट. Otherwise very difficult because ocean is vast place, means it is endless, water everywhere. We cannot know the even direction where is south, north, east, west. It's very difficult to say the life in the ocean. Let's see. If we were lucky, I told him with a conviction I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. Then with a heavy heart I went below, climbed on my bunk and amazing dose of pain. I woke at, it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. I knew we must have missed the island, and with the sail we had left, we couldn't hope to beat back into the westerly wind. Only one sail we had left it, and we couldn't hope to beat back into the western, and with that this sail will not even last long. And at that moment, tussle head, means untidy hair, tussle head, appeared by my bunk. A tussle head come, and it come before me. Can I have hug? Jonathan asked, and his son asked him that, Papa, I want to hug you. She was right behind him, and she was behind him only. Why am I getting hugged now? I asked the question, my son, why am I being hugged by you? Because you are the best daddy in the whole world. Papa, you are the best person in the whole world. You are the best daddy and the best captain, my son replied. Not today, John, I'm afraid. Why you must be? Not today, I'm afraid. Not today, John afraid. क्यों आज नहीं, जहाँ तक मुझे वो नहीं मिल जाता आइलैंड वहाँ तक. Not today, I'm afraid. Why you must be? Said she in a matter of fact voice. You found that island, पप्पा वो आइलैंड हमें मिल गया है जहाँ पे हम अपनी will be able to take shelter. What? I shouted. मैंने कहा कि क्या बात कर रही हो बेटा? Yes, it is out there in front of us. वो हमारे आगे ही है. They chorus as big as battleship. और वो they started yelling and shouting out of happiness, out of joy. I rush on deck and gaze with relief. He got relief inside his heart at the a star means complete outline of Amsterdam. That is the name of that island. It was only bare, means empty. It was only bleak piece of volcanic rock. It was not that much big island, but it was an island with little vegetation. Little vegetation was there. The most beautiful island in the world. Okay. We anchor offshore for the night. वहाँ पे हमने लंगर डाल दिया in order to be at particular place. We anchor offshore in the sea, not far from land. Yes, offshore means in the sea, not far from land. वैसे तो वो बोट क्या है वो एक ही जगह पे रही. We anchor, लंगर डाला for the night. The next morning All 28 inhabitants of the island cheer, and the residents and citizens and people of that island cheer us. They welcome us as they help us ashore. उन्होंने हमारी मदद की. With land under my feet again, my thoughts were full of Larry and Herbie, cheerful and optimistic under the dire stress. I was under much stress now. I am become so optimistic. And of Mary, who stayed at the wheel for all those crucial hours, and she was there driving during the crucial hours. Most of all, I thought of a 7-year-old girl who didn't want us to worry about head injury. We subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove recurring blood clot between skin and skull. Right? She had that much big injury on her head, but she didn't make her father feel the pain that she had, because she didn't want to disturb her father. And at last they had to, in order to remove that injury, they had to had how many? Let's see, us to worry about injury. And we subsequently took 6 minor operations in order to remove that recurring blood clot between skin and skull. And a 6-year-old boy was not afraid to die. And this is the end of the lesson, my dear students. This is one of the most important lessons, and you should go through it. If you will go through it, it will sure help you and inshallah we hope that we are going to open we will have our school open, inshallah. We hope so, from the month of February, inshallah. I think so that now the cases of corona are not that much, they are dropping down, means the number of cases of corona are decreasing. So I'm pretty sure that government will do something for the children of this great country. The government of Gujarat, there are other states where the schools have already been open. Government has totally given permission. It is one of the states, that is Gujarat, where permission has not been given. There are many other states. So inshallah, once we will have our real class, not virtual class. This is a virtual class, right? So inshallah, I will sure ask my student to come before the class to share this story right before the students. I am sure that you have understood this lesson, and if you have any query, confusion, please feel free to ask me. While explaining, I might have mixed some names, maybe daughter name with the mother name. It can happen. I'm sure that